Good afternoon, everyone. Good day, everyone. Whenever you are watching this video, my name is Obashola, and this is the Act of Juggling. I have here with me someone very important. I'll allow him to introduce himself, but he is the Futasu president. If you do not know what Futasu means, he is the number one citizen at Federal University of Technology. So I'll allow him to introduce himself now. Who are you?
Hi everyone. My name is Jason Ifemi Tenten Ashure, and I'm privileged to be the president of the Student Union at Federal University of Technology, Akure. So answering who are you, I'm an interesting person. Yeah, I consider myself as a multi-potentialite. So I have interest in so many things, right? But primarily people. So I'm a very people-oriented person.
I also go by the name Tenten. So I just want to ask you, and I know that the viewers too they want to know, what does Tenten mean?
So if I meet people and they ask for my name and I say my name is Tenten, they will say, what does it mean? Like, how do you get it? So it's actually my name. My parents gave it to me, and they got it from my date of birth, the 10th day of the 10th month. And then it was one of the names I was given as Tenten.
Okay, so from home you already been that name. Wow. I attend futa for, I don't know, for people that do not know. And when that maybe that nickname or something is very unique, because a lot of people, when they campaign for this election, they go by weird name. Yes, I don't want to say anyone. I don't want to, but like, I actually like the name because it is easy to remember. Sometimes I don't even remember your name. I just say I saved your number as 1010 because I don't remember like your actual.
When I meet people too, I prefer to introduce myself as Tenten because they can never forget. So they will always ask why. And one interesting thing is, it is Nigerians that ask. So when I meet non-Nigerians or people who are well traveled and I say my name is Tenten, they just say, oh, okay. But when you meet Yoruba people especially, is a lie.
Contested for the role of Futasu president and you won the election. What inspired you? Did you talk to anyone? Did anybody talk to you? Did you see something? Did you see the past leader and you were like, oh, I want to be like this person?
It's interesting question. I'll go back to, it's a journey, right? It's a journey, and I think the beginning of all of that was the very first day I got into FUTA. So that day in 2017, I came for post UTME then, and the bus, I alighted from the bus at that Senate roundabout, and while I was walking to the tutorial center, there was this guy on the other side of the road, one short guy that was just very loud and was just greeting everybody. And in my mind, I'm like, I was very young, and in my mind I was like, who is this guy? Does he not know that he's in the university? Why is he making so much noise? Like, who does he think he is? And I got to the tutorial center, and after some minutes, that same guy came in with more people, and they introduced him as the Futasu president, Sir Newton. Many people know Sir Newton. So he was president 2017-18, and I was like, oh wow, interesting. In a way, like, I just thought, because when I came into school, I was very small stature wise, and then I was like, well, maybe I can become president someday. And then I did pre-degree. So funny thing is, when I was leaving home, my dad sat me down and he said, this school you are going to, I'm not sending you to join them to do politics. He said that, and because he knows I'm very interested in politics and leadership, we talk about Nigeria and like global politics. And then because of what he said in my pre-degree year, unlike other people, I did not take any role. I was just the regular student, just go to school, leave class. So I did pre-degree, and when it was time for registrations, you know how stressful registration can be. I was helping people, and then when we started classes, we did not have a school governor, no form of leadership. I took it upon myself to like go to the department. Oh, who is the lecturer taking this course? I'll call the lecturer. We are seated in the hall. We are expecting you, and all of those things. People just said, Tente, you will be our governor. You will be our governor. And thanks to God, I contested at the time. COVID happened in second year. Before the lockdown, I joined ISEC, and I had more interest in non-profits and just doing things on my own, private sector really. So post-COVID, after we resumed, and then we had elections, like when I was in 200 level, and General Wills become the student union president. And General Wills walked up to me one day. We're having the elections of the legislative arm, and I was in the hall just there as an observer. And he walked up to me and he said, so I'll say it the way he said it. He said, you no go like work with me, Abi. You no go like work with me. This and this. Are your friend, George. You don't do my cabinet. I'm my chief of staff. Make you come, make we gather do am. And I was not interested. But then I had a conversation with my friend, George, like he mentioned. And George said, it's an opportunity to serve, that he thinks that we should just do it. And I became director of strategy and innovation to the then president. And that was where it started from. More because I was so close to the position and I saw like things that were going on. And I just thought that, okay, maybe I could do it. But I still did not have, based on my background and the other interests I have, I was not interested in the whole politicking and all of those things. Yeah. So many people started talking me into it that 10 contest for president. People who had known me since 100 level. I organized an event. Why am I in school as an 100 level student? And everybody just kept saying 10, do this, do that. They went as far as speaking to everyone they knew I would listen to. At the time, in that period, in October 2021, ISEC in Nigeria was in Akure. We were hosting a national conference. And General Wills and a group of guys came to that event because luckily the conference was starting October 11. My birthday was October 10. So we went out. ISEC in Nigeria that was around and the conference committee team, we went out that evening and he came around and he told ISEC that you are the one taking this guy from me, from Futasu. Please let me tell him to come and become president. And I said no. We came back that night and everybody was saying 10, do it. And I was like, I'm not, because I know what the reality is like and I am not interested in it. The president of ISEC in Nigeria then, Felix Bisong, he had the private conversation with me and he said, honestly, my guy, I think you should do it. This and this and that. But all of that did not move me. It was after that conference that I was moved. So it was more like the next adventure for me, to be very honest. And then I contested and yeah, thanks to God, we had the election twice. We did it the first time and then the results could not be announced for reasons best known to those people. And then we went on the 7 months strike again and then we came back to campaigning. So it was a whole lot mentally. And then thank God I won the polls the second time and I am president. Thanks to God.
You mentioned that before you left home, your dad warned you that, this boy, don't take any leadership post. Yes. So when you won the election or when you told them that you'll be campaigning for this post, what was their reaction?
Okay. Number one, I did not tell them.
You did not tell them?
I did not tell them. Because if I had told my dad especially, he would have discouraged me. So interesting, let me go back a bit. When I was going to contest for school governor at the time, I blocked my parents. Like from my status, and they did not see anything. So after I had won, I unblocked them. And then he saw that I went for a meeting that time with the school governors. And he was like, Mr. Governor, that what is this? And then I explained, sir, this is this and it and that. And I was like, well, that's nice. You are still at the faculty level, that's okay. But union, don't do it. Yeah. So when I was going to run the second time, I did not inform them. But I was more mature. I did not block them. So they saw it, like they saw when I started posting the campaign materials. And my dad was just observing. And a point when I called him for something, and he was like, it will need to shit for me. And I'm like, I'm just trying it. And I was like, well, no problem, go ahead. But I think the shift for him was that he had seen how I've owned up to responsibilities, and he has seen like the difference in how I do things really. So he could not oppose entirely that, don't do it. So he just encouraged me along the line, and he never gave me 1 naira all through the campaign. You get the point, because he really did not want me to do it. In his time in university, he was governor, so like he was involved in politics at the time. So he knew everything that was involved. So he was trying his best not to make me involved. But then he did not react anyhow. And another thing is, now that I am president, so before now, if I call my dad, he will say my engineer, because I'm studying engineering. My engineer. but now it is my president.
That is
My
actually
president. So
nice.
Can you run us through briefly your responsibility as the FUTASU president?
okay, the responsibilities according to the constitution, there are a number of things. So the student executive council is in charge of the day-to-day running of the union, and I lead all of that. So all of the administrative activities are my responsibilities, but practically, in the real sense, my day starts with waking up in the morning. The funny thing is, I don't sit in the office most times.
I don't even know, it's true. I've never seen your picture.
Yeah, and I really don't, because I feel like you don't get stuff done from the office. So I'm more on the field. So the day starts something like, so I wake up in the morning, and after like my personal time, I'll call my guys, I'll call my chief of staff. Alpha, what's the plan for today? Where are you? Let's
Do you have
meet.
a PA?
Yes, I do have a personal assistant. Yes, very, very supportive guy. So I wake up with all of those calls, and I just get out to do it. And so the day revolves around something like meetings with who? With the management. So I meet with the dean student affairs a lot, because he represents the students at the management level. So I meet with him to like discuss, sir, these are the problems our students are facing, all of that. And something else I enjoy doing is to just walk into random classes, just walk into classes and meet with students. Oh, so how are you doing? This and this, just to gather feedback on whatever they are doing. And if I have classes, I've missed classes, God knows, my department knows, but it's part of the responsibilities. I mean, yesterday, 2 days ago, I still had to leave a class for a meeting with the tenants of Aluta Market and the SUB. So it's a lot, yeah, and I have like a number of engagements outside FUTA. So I go to Accra to like meet with government stakeholders. So when students have electricity issues, I have meeting with BEDC. I've had like a lot of meetings, but now I've built that relationship that when there are electricity issues, I just place a phone call. Whenever I see that we have problems and the management is not the one that will solve it, especially off campus, I go to the people involved, like in town, to have those conversations. So that's what it is. Gather feedback around the problems students are facing. Think with my team on how we can solve it, and then get to solve it. So it's really a lot about
Multitasking.
yes, really.
Like you said, there's a lot of multitasking and all that. So how do you balance your position, running multi things at the same time, and also your academic activity?
Great. So at every point in time, when I speak to people who have been president before, they remind me of this very often. And I'm from mining engineering. Mining engineering is one of those departments that people say is difficult, and it's not really difficult, but I think it's difficult because our load unit is always full. So there is no time to put carryover courses. So once you begin to have like maybe 2 carryovers, it's an extra year already. So how have I been able to manage that? God. God. It is a lot. But I also want to thank my class rep. He's always very, very helpful. So he tells me that, oh, you have to come for this class. So there was a particular class that the professor had said, where's that president boy? And he had the classes 3 times already, and I was not there. So my class rep told me, if you don't come for his next class, he won't register you for this course, or you fail his course, this and that. And I had to leave everything to attend that class, although I did not finish that class, but the man just wanted to say that, President, you are in class. When it's time for lectures and all of those things, I'm able to make time, because lectures are not 247, like it's not always, yeah. So classes that I'm able to speak to the lecturer that I wouldn't attend, I'll use that to do my office responsibilities. And when it's time for tests, I know that this is test period, I'll reduce everything I'm doing and read for tests. And exams especially in the last exams, it was a lot. Like, it was a lot. So many things were going on during exams. But when it's time for exams, I know that I have to dedicate like overnight, the night before the exam, to reading. So like I sleep less and just try to like cover up. It's always difficult, but thank God for helpful departmental mates. So I just get the summary of everything they have done. Many people by themselves do summary and they send to me. So I'll just read those summaries, and you know now. I saw my results, and When I saw it, no carryover. Thank God.
Advice will you give to anyone that is coming behind you, or anyone that wants to take a presidential role or any role whatsoever?
Like Nike, just do it. Like
That's
if you
ridiculous.
think that you should do it, I think you should just do it.
Okay.
And that's the advice I give to anyone who comes to meet me, that I want to run for this and this. In my early years, Bishop Oyedepo said something that service is the way to the top, and I've heard that consistently from Bishop Pastor Samade. I mean, that service is the way to the top, and in some way they use the religious setting to like describe service, but externalizing it to politics. I think if you serve people, you will know more about yourself,
Okay.
and you will know more about the people you represent, and it gives you certain privileges. But beyond all of those privileges, I think
Personal
yeah, that
growth.
exactly, yeah, that personal growth. And there are some things that you wouldn't know that you could do. I love anything around media and marketing, but I never knew that I could edit videos. So during my campaign, I organized an overnight ME 101 tutorial, and I was with 100 level students that day, and the tutor was teaching, so I was just around helping them and all of those things. So I was just like recording like all of those moments, and in a way I felt like I can record this and put it out there as a campaign material, but I did not know how. So I just asked one of the girls, can you help me? I've recorded so many videos, can you help me? And she installed CapCut, and we started, and I saw her do it, and like I've been doing it myself. Very recently, I put out a video on my Instagram recently to summarize my day. Yeah, so like the meetings I went
The video.
exactly. So I edited that myself. So that day I had gone through a lot in school, and I got back home and there was nothing to do, and I was like, let me just edit this thing. I did not know that I could edit videos if I did not contest, if I did not have to run a campaign. I think the only one thing that I need to do that I'm president that I have not done or have not tried is to drive, because the university is against students driving, the students union bus, all of those things here. And in a way I try to like stay away from it, because I can get so emotional when I'm trying to get something done, because we've had cases of emergencies that we had to drive like so fast, yeah, and I'm always very emotional about the people I lead, so I don't do that. But like serving and running for positions would help you learn about yourself.
Approximately or roughly, how many students do you lead?
The student count in FUTA undergraduates is about 19,000.
2,000 is a lot.
Yes, I mean, but I don't do it all by myself. I have an executive team, so we are 10 in number, and there is the legislative structure, there are 121 in number, and we have the judiciary arm of the students union, and they are about 13 in number. So I don't do it all alone, but I lead all of those activities. So whenever the legislative wants to do something, they will still have to tell me that, oh, president, this and this is what we are doing. But I mean, it's a lot. Before now, my WhatsApp used to be very peaceful.
Phones do you have?
Just one. I don't know how to manage two phones. Yeah, so I have just one number. People are surprised, but I don't know how to manage. I used to have another phone, but I gave it out. One phone. My WhatsApp before now was always peaceful, but right now, if I respond to everything before the end of the next day, it will count in hundreds already. I just take time to like respond to all of that. So I don't do it alone, and I'm very thankful for like the team that I have. Like very, very thankful. Those guys are like the best.
Can you share one of your worst and one of the best experience that you had?
One of the worst experience, a sad one. So in, I think January, yes, I was at Foye, Federal University of Ekiti, on a courtesy visit to their student union. So I was there with my chief of staff, my vice president, the treasurer, and a number of people to just visit them, learn about how they do it in their school, gather insights, and bring it here. And we woke up that next morning, we're in our hotel room, and we're preparing to leave. So we're meant to have a tour of Foye. They were meant to take us around. When I received a call from someone, she's now in 300 level, that someone had just committed suicide. And like I did not want to believe it, but at the same time I had to ask questions. So I began to call people, called my welfare director, please go to so and so place, let me find out if this is true. And sadly it was true. We lost Joseph, and I had to leave Foye. I had to leave everything and rush down to Akure. And in the middle of that, the whole university, practically the whole university, was at Ikere Ekiti. So the deputy vice chancellor then was having a family function, and you know the way Nigerians are, we celebrate with one another. So almost everyone was at Ikere Ekiti. So we just left Oye, went to Ikere, and left Ikere and came down to Akure. And when we got to Akure, I visited the house, and I was in the room, as at then they had taken him to the morgue and all of those things. But like, I saw the room where it happened, and I had to go to the police station because the police were there earlier. I had been speaking with the DPO on the phone, so I had to meet with her. I saw a number of things, saw the suicide notes that he left. I've not shared about this publicly, but I think I should, to tell people that suicide is not like the solution to whatever you are going through, really. Because I learned that in that period. I did not know so much about mental health and depression, but that experience made me inquire more. The point where we had to bury him came, and this is the worst experience. So we got to the morgue, and we were at the morgue and with a number of students, some from his department, his church, and he was dressed and we're ready to take him out. And then the nurse there said, Ewagbe, like, come and lift him into the ambulance. And nobody was ready to move forward. And the nurse said, President, Wagbe Nkoe. And when she said that, like, I just had to step up. So when I moved in, other students followed me and we carried him out. And in that period, I was not crying because I had to man up in a way, what they say, man up for, because people were crying, like, I mean, his close friends. So I had to be strong. But what made me cry that day was, and I cried a lot. So one of my seniors that was with me was, this is why we call you the president of the dead and alive. And I wept on that day. It was a lot for me mentally. Yeah, but I thank God for that experience, because in a way, so many other students began to open up that this is what I'm going through, because we had a campaign against suicide and mental health depression. We partnered with Blue Room Care. Blue Room Care does therapy for people who are depressed, and a number of societies on campus. So people began to open up that this is what I am going through. My worst experience as president, but it came with so much learning. Now, back to the best experience. The best experience, I really think the best is yet to come. Yeah, the best is yet to come. But there are days that I'll be happy about it, that, oh, I am president. I enjoy so many privileges. I mean, with associating with bike men off campus, I've had various fights with them that you guys do a number of things I don't want. I want you guys to do this. So we've had issues, and at times I'll just be outside and I'll see a bike man. I'll just say, Presido, where you they go? Oh yeah, come, make I carry you. And just those privileges of being invited to a number of places that if I was not president, I wouldn't be there. So in a way, I'm grateful for all of that. But something within me still tells me that the best is yet to come. But like, it's been interesting. I wouldn't lie. Anyone that wants to become president at FUTA or any other institution, just do it.
Mention 5 things that you are not allowed to do as the FUTA president.
Okay, thank you. So there is no playbook. There's no book that says things you must not do, like the 10 commandments that thou shalt not. There isn't anything like that. But in a way, the position, so my own understanding is the privilege I have right now, it shapes culture. It shapes how people see the position. I thank God for like the type of leadership we have had in FUTA. We have had Alutapi. Alutapi is I was not so close to him, but because of his type of person, like I appreciated him for it. I mean, and I was like, oh, good. And then we had Father AB, and I was even more closer to Father AB, and I loved his eloquence. I loved that if you call on him, he will respond. Call Father AB in the midnight, he would turn up. If he's not around, he will delegate people to come around to help you out. And General Wills, I worked closely with him, and like I saw things, right? A number of things that I had to stop doing. I can't keep locks. I used to wear necklaces. Yeah, people can wear it, but for me, in a way, if you meet with certain type of people, they judge you by how you appear, which is not so good, right? A point came, I had to like remove that. I had to do away with it. So right now, I am not so allowed to wear shorts inside school. Not like I can't wear it. If I wear it, nobody would push me or nobody would say this and that. But in a way, because of how people would look and say, yeah, but I'm not really moved by how they think, but I know that anything I do will become a trend.
Piercing and
I know now. No. No, you're a child of the world. So we are Gen Zs and we love freedom. We love to express ourselves. But the university management is not made up of Gen Zs. Is made up of millennials, old people. Not really old, but like people who existed, who schooled in the 19s under the military government. So they have a thinking on this is how you should do things. And all of those thinking still revolves now. And in a way, if you can't get to the office, if you are wearing like a stud or something like that, they will chase you out. So president that has to go to their offices more often, you can't do those things.
do you receive like threat messages sometimes? Have you ever gotten?
Definitely. It's a normal thing. It's a normal
Are you
thing.
serious?
Threats from students and even non-students. You know, you can't make everyone happy. So when you make certain decisions that is not pleasing to like a group of people, it's normal.
If me,
Threats.
I personally send message to your line now and you enter, I'll feel insecure that you can look for me now.
Some people do not mind. So one thing I've understood from my experience as president, I'll say it in Yoruba. They say, "Àwọn kan wà wọ́n lè fún wàrà, but wọ́n lè dá wàrà nù." They can't make, but they don't mind destroying. So those type of people, when you are trying to do something that they don't like, I mean, you receive threats. I respond the right way. So I don't feel threatened. That's one thing. If you threaten me, it is now left to me to feel threatened because I can look at you and say, what will you do? There was a time we had a crisis like internally within the student union. And one of the problems they had with me was, why will you be working alone? That you don't have CSO, you don't have this and this, because I did not ratify a chief security officer because I don't feel threatened. The biggest challenge I face and the biggest challenge the union faces, I would speak from those two ends. My biggest challenge is the people. I love people a lot. Yeah, like I'm primarily people oriented, but in a way, the biggest challenge I still face as president is still the people who compose the student union. So the people that the student union attracts in a way are not people who have like the solid content to get stuff done. I'll be attacked for this, but I just have to say it. I don't have all the knowledge by myself. I mean, I still consult. People still advise me on this and this, and I listen to those things. But that's one of the challenges. There is people with a certain type of thinking are those that are attracted to student unionism. People with certain type of thinking that is needed in student leadership, student representation are not attracted. So they just choose to like just do other things. You get. So after I won the election, the second time, I had a full-time job. A full-time job with a logistics tech. I was working remotely. And I won my election 5th of December. And the way it is, if you have won, Isheti Bere, like work starts. And my CEO kept calling me because I work closely with the management team. He kept calling me, but like I would be in a meeting and I can't pick his call. And then on the 8th of December, I won the election 5th of December. On the 8th of December, I was in front of the university CSO, the chief security officer, when my CEO was calling me. And I was looking and I was like, God. and I could not pick his call. And then I came out of that meeting, and the next thing was a voice note that, thank God for the position you are now, because he supported me for the position. Because when he was in school, he was not in the union, like he was so active politically. That, but you are going to be more busy now. I don't think we can continue with you at this role. And that was it.
So you were fired. Basically.
Yes, I was fired. I was not fired instantly. I was still like subject to like review, how often I'll show up for meetings, how often I'll complete my tasks. But like I kept messing it up. So like they disengaged me like afterwards. Like because I was fired, because I lost that job, I decided that period that any other thing that would not make me success, because I loved the work I was doing. Any other thing that will not make me successful in this position, I will drop it.
Have you had like people call you for roles and you decline it?
HR from I don't want to mention the name of the company, from one of these big companies that I wouldn't mind working with. So a friend works there and he called me, and I was in class, and at night I called him and I was like, how far? Sure, you still in school? I was like, I'm still in school, I'm still a student. It was like, the HR from my company just looked through your LinkedIn and they said they are considering you for this role, a talent partner role. And I was like, no, like that's another role going. You get, so people still reach out. There was a point, one of these biggest events in Lagos, like biggest tech event, they needed someone on their team also. They reached out and I just could not, like, because I'm so committed to like serving the people for now, I keep declining all of those roles, because I mean students have full-time roles and they are still students, but I can't be a student, be president and still have a full-time. Yeah, it's going to be a lot. And the biggest challenge as a union is the challenge of funding. So many people think, student union has money. If I walk into some office, they will say, president, kiniko. And I'm like, I don't get paid for this thing. There is no payment structure for like anyone that serves at FUTASU level. In the north, in the east, I mean, they are paid. Even the government pays like the student union across all of those areas. But like for us, in southwestern Nigeria, in FUTA especially, there's no payment structure. So you will even use your own money to serve the people. Yeah. So the biggest challenge of the union is funding. There are so many things we want to get done, but we can't because of funding limitations. So if you're out there and you want to do stuff with students, please reach out. Like, we are big on partnerships. We'll partner with you, get stuff done. So that's one of the ways we do all of those things.
Okay, so I will leave his LinkedIn handle down below and probably his Gmail.
I was watching a podcast of someone, he's a Christian in media. So he has worked with like several big names, worked with like several companies, media and entertainment. And he made an analysis and he said, human beings are made to mirror something. So you as a human, when you are born like tabula rasa, very empty. So where you grow, if you grow in Africa, the way we speak, our accent is because we were born in Africa. If we were born somewhere else, exactly. So when you begin to look up to certain people, subconsciously they begin to shape your lives. Yeah. And I just want people to be aware of that, because you may do things that I may be doing things that does not align with you. Don't say I've messed up. Yeah. You get. Just know what you want and what you are looking for.
Mention individuals that you are thankful for on this journey, because I think the tenure is slightly coming to an end right now. So you can just give a shout out to them, people that you are thankful for, that have impacted you, that have helped you on this journey.
I can't mention names. I will just mention them like as a group. I'm very thankful to my family. They supported me. Yeah, beyond my immediate family, like my family in general, they supported me. My friends in my lodge, they are the best. Like, they are literally the best. Thank my faculty and my departments, Faculty of Engineering and Mining Engineering. They are the best. From the staff to the students, everyone in engineering is a big family, because that's the way we have been groomed. The leadership, from the dean of engineering to my HOD, Professor Saliu, to my faculty president when I was campaigning, Smart Dreamer, to the current president, Adon. I appreciate you guys. At the campaign, I saw, like you said, you may not value yourself, but people value you. It was at that point that I saw how people are willing to go all out for you, for a cause that they believe in. During my campaign, I kept saying, I want to lead a student union connected to its Aluta roots, yet differentiated by wit, ambition, and innovation. And the tagline for the campaign was redefining student unionism. And I think that's a cause that some people have believed in, and they went all out with their financial resources, with their own resources, like their material resources, their emotional resources, because they took insults. It was literally like a fight at that period. So I thank everyone from Faculty of Engineering and from everywhere, people from SAT, especially SAT. I received like the best form of support from that faculty, and that's in a way, I'm always so concerned about the people in that faculty. From School of Computing, School of Earth and Mineral Sciences, Environmental Technology, School of Logistics and School of SBMS, everyone in FUTA, really. And I thank my team members, like from the vice president down to the director of socials. I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all of the feedbacks that I receive. I appreciate the legislative arm, the speaker of the SRC, the deputy speaker, everyone, all the honorables. Although we have our sour moments, but I still appreciate you all. I appreciate the judiciary, the chief justice, very great guy. I appreciate everyone. And I appreciate my church. I appreciate the Living Faith Church and the people of the Winners Campus Fellowship. Out to Ado, because he has been a big time support behind the scenes. I think you deserve the thanks I am giving out to you. Yes, and if you don't think you deserve it, you do, because you have been a part of the journey. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. It has been an amazing talk show, chit chat. I really appreciate. Thank you for your time. You know how busy this young man is.
Yeah, Obashola is a great person. I mean, the journey of our YouTuber has been interesting. So thank you for having me. It's a privilege to be on your show. Thank you very much.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on your post notification in order to get notified when subsequent episode and subsequent series drops. Thank you so much for watching till this point. I love you guys so much. Say bye to everybody. Bye.
Thank you for watching.